So it's my honor to open this conference together with all the board members and most of the management team here in the room. On behalf of our 300 plus members by now, I wanted to kind of just kick it off and give a few thoughts from myself on what is important and why we are driving that. I do think we have made significant progress with Gaia-X, as well in the organization, as also outside the organization, enabling other things to happen. But I won't go deep on that now, because I think that's what's going to happen in the next 1.5 days, where we have plentiful of sessions where people explain why Gaia is important to them and what they have achieved by participating within Gaia. I indeed wanted to kind of look on a different angle a little bit. There is a lot of coverage, also in the media, about the provider side of Gaia. And I think I wanted to speak a little bit more about the user side of Gaia. Why are people actually interested as users in the topic of sovereignty? And I've spent, like the last few months, way more time talking to users, and I think this is astonishing what has happened in this time in terms of clarity of why they actually are interested in the topic as such, and why they are supporting it by driving it forward. And my thoughts, in the end, I can condense it down to two things why they are driving that. Number one is sovereignty helps to accelerate. It helps to accelerate the digitization of core processes in the industry. Because one of the key challenges we are having, and I'm also CTO of T-Systems, a Deutsche Telekom company, so I know it from the inside, is the unclarity what is allowed and what is acceptable when it comes to sharing data across and storing data and processing data in platforms. And that is something which leads to plentiful of discussions in the organizations and complex processes how to handle it. So sovereignty, clarity, on what that means will accelerate the digitization in the companies. I think the labels, which we're going to hear about it, will be a good step to show how Gaia can help to get that clarity. The second point is sovereignty enables. And what do I mean with that, sovereignty enables? The challenge we are having in Europe in the data industry is transferring our strength from the past to the future. Our economy was powerful by being able to integrate large and small companies in integrated value chains. That is why companies could focus their ingenuity on a specific aspect and build the best products, but still make it part of a larger ecosystem, a larger product in a closed value chain. When it comes to data-driven products, that is difficult. That is difficult because you have, a slice of the data, and you need to have the full view of the data for a certain use case. And that leads to the need of having federated data spaces that allow you to share the data, but not give away the value forever. And labels do a good, help there, and a distributed federated system, because federation is the core of the approach, but it needs more. It needs technologies. It needs lighthouse projects around the industries that show how that actually is put into place. And I think we will hear a bit about Catena as a first lighthouse, but there's more to come. But overall, I think it's fair to say that with the sovereignty topic, when I talk to clients of ours, when I talk to interested customers or users of these things, the hope is that more clarity on how sovereignty, how these federated systems work, will accelerate the digitization. And that is a fundamental thing, because today the rule is clear. If you don't digitize, you will be digitized. And that's why there is so much interest and drive from the user community. And that is, I think, the reason also why we, as Gaia, and the members of Gaia, are really fully fired up to drive that forward. And obviously, why is Gaia so important when it comes to sovereignty? And I think that's another angle we need to look at. I mean, sovereignty is the topic per se, but why is Gaia so fundamental? And I think What we have built with Gaia, with the 300 plus members, with the hubs in 15 countries, with users and providers in one group, is a very powerful tool to define and establish what it means for us in Europe to have these rules clear. And not only in Europe, but I think this is something that is true for many economies across the globe. And that's what we are driving for. We know it's a hard problem. And I think, we feel that sometimes with us being like a very large community in a startup-like mode. But I think this is not scaring us away and shouldn't scare us away. And I think what the current mode is of our community and of us driving that forward is, I wanted to quote a short snippet from a book, which probably many of you have read, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. The key rule about entrepreneurship, embrace the struggle. And I think that's what we do. And I'm really looking forward for these 2 days, driving that forward, getting more clarity, and looking forward to work with all of you. Thank you.